Welcome to Raise the Line from Osmosis.org, seeking solutions with leading experts on how to increase healthcare capacity so people can get the care they need during the COVID-19 crisis and beyond. In this special episode, we'll be talking to one of the winners of the 2020 Osmosis Raise the Line Faculty Awards. Only 5 were selected out of hundreds of nominations we received. Osmosis's engagement manager, Lindsey Smith, sat down with each of them to ask about their career, their methods, and their advice for future healthcare providers.
Joining us today is one of Osmosis's Raise the Line Faculty Award winners, recipient Dr. Zsa-Zsa Booker from Wayne State University School of Medicine. Dr. Booker, thank you for being here. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Zsa-Zsa Booker. I am a learning skills specialist at Wayne State University School of Medicine. Our offices are in Detroit, Michigan. And in my role, I help to support students mostly in the segment 2 or M2 year, medical school year 2. I help students with their coursework as far as their learning skills and strategies for preparing for exams, digesting material, etc. And also I am the course director for the Step 1 Prep course, where I help students navigate through their dedicated studies. And I do a lot of teaching in their pre-dedicated portion in year 2 as well. So that's some of my roles.
Nice. And how long have you been doing that?
I've been in the School of Medicine since 2017. And before that, I worked at Wayne State, but I worked on main campus. So I didn't work at the medical school prior to, but I did similar work, but with undergraduate students and helping them navigate through their undergraduate career. So I got my PhD in 2016, and then I joined the medical school shortly after that.
Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get started? How did you find your way to now?
Sure. I didn't always plan to be an educator. I always knew that I would be working in a profession where I provided a service, but I never thought it would be in education. I was lucky enough to come out of high school and have earned the Bill and Melinda Gates scholarship. So it's Gates Millennium Scholars. I earned that scholarship, and that afforded me a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD. So my education was paid for out the gate. So I knew that I was going to do something. I just had to figure it out. So I had a lot of different work opportunities cross my path. And like I said, I was working on main campus while I was finishing up my master's degree. And I was doing this type of work with undergraduate students, helping them prepare for exams, helping them with stress management, helping with just all of that stuff, helping students read better, et cetera. And after that, I transitioned into the medical school. I applied for a position at the medical school, and it was a rough transition. I knew nothing about medical education when I came over. All of my degrees are, I have a science degree. My undergraduate degree is science, but, my master's was in information science. My PhD is in educational statistics. So I really didn't have a background in medical education, but I caught on really fast when I got on the team. Office of Learning and Teaching is my team that I work with. When I came on, I was immediately thrown on a really tough project. That's what they told me before they told me what it was. They said, this is all hands on deck for this project, but you are, our main person for this project. And I said, okay, what is it? And they said, it's step 1. So, and I've been working on that project since that time. And it's been challenging. If you know anything about Step 1, you know that it's probably one of the toughest standardized exams medical students take. It's really hard. It's stressful. I always tell my students it can feel really lonely too because you're working by yourself as you're preparing for that test. And so, with all of that being said, I help students navigate through that process for that whole year. I work with students and preparing for the step. And then again, I teach a course that's designed to help them during their dedicated study period. So that's kind of where I am now. It was a interesting path.
So, you've obviously inspired many young health professionals to get nominated for this award. Can you speak on who inspired you or what got you inspired to get into education?
Sure. I mentioned, how I ended up earning my degrees. It was based on the generosity of some philanthropists. And so when I really started to digest the fact that I was being awarded such a gift, the gift of education, I really started to rethink about my life goals. And so, as I was thinking about those changes in my life, you know, I guess the world and everything in it kind of just pulled me to work in higher ed. I did try out working in K through 12 for a bit, and I did some work with some kindergartners, and I said, "Wow, they're amazing," but I don't think this is it. And so I did that for a while, but like I said, the world kind of just pulled me back to working in higher ed. And again, the reason I decided for education is because I just knew that it was important to give back. And so that's really important to me because, if it wasn't for the generosity of others, I wouldn't be where I am. So that's why I decided education.
This is an excerpt of what one of your nominations read about you. Dr. Zsa-Zsa always brings a positive light, spreading it to everyone around her. Her passion is in quantitative research, data analysis, program evaluation, and being the best help to students and the community. She is very thoughtful, very competent, and has a very insatiable work ethic. Truly a pleasure in every aspect. Such kind words. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I was thinking, wow, whoever wrote that, they know a lot about me. But it's humbling. That's my first thought is that it's humbling. It's also really nice to know that even though you don't hear it, people observe good in you. And so that's great. I mean, I'm humbled. The first thought was humbling.
As I'm sure you know, Osmosis' 6 core values start with the heart, spread joy, have each other's backs, imagine more, open your arms, and reach further. Do any of these values strike a chord with you?
Yeah, it's funny. We're talking about giving back and the importance of that and paying it forward. And I guess the one that most resonates with me is the heart. I think it's start with the heart. That's what it is. That one because that's kind of how I've been guided through my life is a spiritual guidance, but also I start with my heart too. So I think that's important, and especially in a profession, medicine is a profession that's very competitive, very challenging. I can't imagine going through the rigor that my students go through. They are brilliant. And I say all that to say that I feel I have to remind my students that they are supported, that we care about them, and that we're in this together. So I try to remind them of that. And that always takes me back to that core value about starting with the heart. So I try to bring that into what I do because it's very important. Sometimes we miss it.
COVID has definitely brought everyone unique challenges. What has your personal experience been this year, and how have you approached your own challenges?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So at the start of this crisis, we were in the middle of our dedicated step one period. And unfortunately, half of our cohort, which we have a pretty big cohort, every year we get about 300 medical students into the school. And I think it's one of the largest in the country. So we have a pretty big cohort. So we had half of our cohort had not sat for step one when they started to close down the prometric sites. And so being one of the leaders of making sure that they get it done, it obviously was a very challenging time. It was stressful. We, because no one knew nothing, no one knew when they would open or when alternative arrangements would be made. It was just a very challenging time. And I can say that I didn't work on helping our students get through that by myself. Myself and my colleagues worked really hard to make sure that our students had information. So anything that we knew about what was going on, we tried to make sure that we got them the information as soon as possible. And, we continue to remind them that they were not alone and that, we were in this together. So that's kind of how we got through it. Because it seems like it was so far away, but so yet still not that far away. It pains me to think about it because it was a very stressful time, but we got through it. And all of our students have sat now, and we're going into another period of dedicated starting in January. So fingers crossed that our prometric centers won't close. But yeah, it was a challenging time, but we got through it.
Is there anything from that experience that you've learned about yourself or your students in general?
What I can say that I learned about my students in particular is, you think you put all this pressure on these jewels and eventually these jewels are going to crack. And our students are under so much pressure, right? They are under an enormous amount of pressure. Again, I keep saying it. I don't know how they do it. They go through a lot. And so then you put this other weight, this pandemic on top of the pressure that they already have. And all I can say is our students surprised me by just how they handled the situation, how they navigated through the process and how they stayed upbeat. And I mean, they just really were team players. They realized that we were working through that process together. And so I commend them on how they handled the pandemic and being in a crisis, and then, having to deal with the pressure of taking step. And, some of our students had that test pushed back 3-4 months past their step date, their original step date. So it was really stressful. I can't imagine being in that situation and preparing for a standardized exam and having a date set, and a couple of days before your test, you get an email saying you can't take it, right? And then you don't know when you're going to sit. So I think they handled that so well. They were so professional, right? So yeah, that surprised me.
What's next for you? What's next for your institution? Working on any projects now that you can tell us about?
Yeah, due to the pandemic and all of the changes that have been made, I know I for certain have really been thinking about how to improve what I do online. So improving our resources, improving all that we do on a virtual way. So there are some things that I'm working on in order to help improve what we already offer virtually. So for example, the course that I teach, we have, a lot of resources dedicated to step one prep, but just helping to improve those and stretching the bar a little bit more. I know we actually worked with Osmosis this year on one of those projects to help provide our students during their dedicated period with a playlist for, the high yield content for step one prep. So those are the types of things that I'm working on and hopeful that we can make an impact, a huge impact on our student body.
Here at Osmosis, we're an education company, and being an education company, we love to fill knowledge gaps. Is there any topic that you'd like to educate us on or the listeners on that you think everyone should know?
So I know, I am not an MD. I'm a PhD. So there's not any, subject matter, per se that I could speak to, but my background is in learning. So I'm always looking for ways to provide students with information that explores how to learn and how they learn. So metacognition. And so I'm always looking to find easy ways to explain brain science, even. How do we remember? What are the keys of memorization? And so, I'm always looking for ways to do that. And that's probably something that I think is really important that adds to what our students already are learning is that material. And I say that too because it's a huge transition from being an undergraduate student and graduating with an undergraduate degree and then going into medical school. And I always use the water example, like, you come out of the undergraduate degree and you're drinking the water from, your kitchen faucet. And then you go into medical education and all of a sudden you're drinking the water from, the fire hydrant, right? That's outside. So it's just a lot more water and it's coming at you really fast. And so because of that, it's really important for students to have a way to understand how can I change my learning skills to accommodate that. So that's what I can add. I think that's really important.
As we're all aware, an entire generation of students are graduating and entering the medical field during this unprecedented pandemic. Do you have any advice for them?
We are, like you said, we're in unprecedented times and there's so much going on, and we can be consumed by a lot of different things. I know in work, it's I can't imagine the pressure of physicians right now and what their challenges are, but I think it's really important to go back to that, start with the heart. And I say that because sometimes we tend to forget that. Even, everybody tends to forget that notion that, compassion. Compassion is just as important as anything when you're considering the profession. So just remind our students to be compassionate. You are working in a service industry. You're providing healthcare, which is a service. And so be reminded that those patients depend on you. You are it. So just lead with the heart, start with the heart.
That's it, Zsa-Zsa. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again on receiving this award. Obviously very deserving. Do you have any parting thoughts or shout outs you'd like to give?
Absolutely. The team that I work with, the Office of Learning and Teaching, the team that I work with, they are an amazing group of people. And I don't do this alone, right? We work together. I'm always, passing ideas through my colleagues. The person that I joined the team with, her name is Dr. Brennan. She is the person who really kind of trained me to do this. And so I really lean on her a lot. And so I say all that to say that I didn't do it by myself. I don't do the work that I do by myself. So I really would like to thank my team, and including, he's not part of our team per se, but Dr. Zsa-Zsa Booker. He's an amazing person as well. He provides really great leadership. We're going through a transition. So he's our interim boss for right now, and he's an amazing person as well. So I just would like to thank my team for all of their support and our students for being such great people. I work with a really, really great team of people and great students, brilliant students.
For more information on how you can help raise the line and flatten the curve, go to osmosis.org/COVID-19. If you like this podcast, please share it on your social channels. You can also subscribe to the series and check out all of our podcasts at osmosis.org/Raise the Line Podcast.